So I looked at it, and I see that it is pretty nice, and I'm also taking it over to another fellow and show it to him that has a wedding video business, and he also takes 8mm and dubs them down to video. And so he wanted to get something to correct the color because he uses like 3 or 4 cameras in the church. Has trouble getting all of them to be the same color. So I told him, well, this one, you can check this one out. And then naturally Videonics is coming out with theirs, which is going to automatically set your color. But that remains to be seen. You have to see the demo on that first. And then Steve has some nice video of that B-52. I got some shots of that C-58 out in Lunkin Airport here. Some time back, they flew that thing in, and it's over 200-foot wingspan. Comes in over Fairfax and just about blacked out the bakery there when it come in. They had to fly it around here a few times to get rid of some of the fuel just to be able to land it down at Lunkin because they have such a short runway. And then we went through that thing. They can raise the nose up and let the tail down. You walk right through it. Supposed to hold about 500 troops and all their equipment. And it's unbelievable that thing could fly because the wings droop down when it's sitting on the ground. It's got an 8-foot intake into them 4 motors. And you just stand there and look at it and wonder how that thing flies. And then them wings will straighten out when it gets in the air. But boy, I like them old airplanes like that B-52. And I like a lot of them World War. Well, I think I might have told you already that I fly radio control models, and I've been doing that for like 20 years or so, and I enjoy that. I've been flying a long time, a lot longer than that. We started out on them cables, you know, years ago, and we'd build them little things and fly them on the cable. Then as radios got popular, we got into that. I saw a C-5A up at Dayton Airport air show. There was a sergeant in the Air Force up there built a C-5A, 10-foot wingspan, 4 motors set in the where the jets was on that C-5A. Built that thing to scale, and it wasn't radio control, it was cable control. He had about 80 or 90 foot cables on that thing, and he had a trigger on it so that he could pull the throttle. And he'd give that thing a little gas on them 4 engines and get it up in the air about 6 or 8 foot. And he had to lay all of his weight back into them cables to hold that thing. It's so heavy, and he'd just give it a little bit of gas, and then he'd slack off on it, let it come almost down and touch and go. And nobody could figure out why he made that thing on control lines when he could have put radio in it, unless he was just didn't trust them radios. Well, we're still fooling around over here at the Nature Center. That's just about 3 or 4 miles up here from my house. I told Bob we'd have to go up there and maybe get some in the winter time, and they got all kinds of trails back through the woods and lakes and stuff, and maybe we'll get to go up there and take some pictures this fall and winter. And I told him we'd go out. He loves to shoot them leaves, so we'll go out and shoot them. I've got quite a few of them too, and I love to shoot the flowers, shoot all the different flowers, and then put them to music. And I see that Steve had to pay $300, I think he said, for them inserts going in his shoes for them spurs. Well, my wife done that, like, you know, several years ago when she was working, and yeah, hers like killing her, and she got them, and boy, that just straightened it out. And then my son, he's having problems with his. My daughter's having problems with hers because they're on their feet a lot. And I had trouble with mine when I was worked a little bit part-time up here at Eastgate Mall in the maintenance department, and I've done a lot of walking and checking doors and things, and mine got to bothering me after I worked up there a while. And there wasn't no way to get them better, I guess, without them inserts. But when I quit, it just went away almost immediately, and I hadn't had any problems since. So that means that if you stay off your feet, they'll be all right, but otherwise you're going to have to do something. And my wife was in here off and on when I was watching this tape, and boy, she said that Naples looks like a paradise. And it sure did. There was some really pretty scenery in Sid's part down there. And he was asking me about my guitars. Actually, these guitars are really old. I got a Galanti, that's Italian, got it in 1964. And I got an Orpheum, got it in 1966. I still got both of them. Actually, I got that Galanti for my son, and he was 12 years old at the time, and he started out playing a guitar, and then I got him a set of drums, and he taught some of the neighbor kids to play the drums, and then he started getting kids together. They had a 6-year-old drummer one time, and all the other kids was 6, 8, 10, 12, and they just got a band together and started playing. And my son everybody had a keyboard back then. They was getting into the keyboard, so he wanted one. And we told him we'd get him one if he could learn to play it. So his bass player's dad said, I'll rent one, and if they can play it, I'll take my Christmas bonus and buy them one. So they rented one, and my son played it 2 days, practiced on it. And then he went to Cincinnati Gardens down there, and he was with Chuck Berry, and some of them was playing. And he went down there and he played 96 Tears, man, and it sounded just like that record. So he got on keyboards, and so he's been on keyboards ever since. Synthesizers and keyboards, he just stacks them things up and got them everywhere. He's got a lot of them up there in the garage now, since he hadn't been playing now for about a year or more. But he's hanging on to them, so I don't know if he'll get back into it or not. Now, Sid is telling me to sing him some, pick him some. Man, I said I ain't picked them things up. I might have had a guitar in my hand a couple of times in the last 35 years or 30 years or something like that. And I just quit after my brother-in-law died. And so the time or two that I picked it up, man, I just about forgot everything. I started putting a set of guitar strings on my guitar back in, I've got one, it's just got one string on it in there. I started putting them on, I'd say, good 20 years ago. I put one string on, and company come, I laid them back, and I've still got the other 5 strings to put on. But I told my wife, I said, I'll get around to it. Ain't this a pretty place here at the Nature Center? I guess me and Bob will have to go over there and shoot some more video. Let's see what other notes I've got. I know there was quite a few questions asked. I don't want to skip any if I can think of what everybody asked me. Here we are now up the farm. My brother-in-law's out here on this quad taking a ride. I think he gets in 4th gear here, and then it won't hardly pull him because he's a pretty big boy. And my boys about burnt the place down there. They was burning some papers and stuff out there in the back, and then went in the house and forgot about it. Set the whole field on fire. They had to have a fire department out there to put it out. Bob was saying something to me about you guys used to insert video, or maybe some of you still do, or I'm not sure what he said about that, but he said something about inserting it. But I went to record, and I just put record on mine for my segment, because if you insert several times, you'll start to lose quality on your video. So These Sharp cameras will do a clean record instead of a clean insert edit. The little bitty drum, it's in these small camcorders, I guess is what it is, and then the race head must be awful close to the record, so they're together so close that it makes a real clean instead of having all that noise like you normally have when you stop a recording on a pre-recorded tape. But on I've cleaned up some of the tapes that I made on my Go Video twin deck that makes copies. Well, sometimes it takes it like 40 seconds or so to get lined up and straightened out to start recording, and it makes a lot of noise and streaks and stuff. It don't look very good. So if I do make a tape and it looks bad on the front there, I put it in my camcorder and count the seconds up to where it needs to be cleaned up, and I just hit record on my Sharp camcorder and run it up that many seconds, and then you put it back in your recorder and it's clean at the end of that, which is I guess maybe the new recorders do that, but I know my old ones sure did, and they made a mess when you make a mistake like that, which I've done a few times. You didn't get if you don't get the tape set up just proper, you know, at the end of the old recording, and you happen to record over something that's get back in the middle of it and record, in other words, then you'll get a mess at the end of that where it stopped recording on your pre-recorded tape. But this one helped me clean that up and get rid of them glitches that way. And me and Bob went out to the fair the other day and shot some video of it was a pre-fair gathering they had, and went out there and they had a few animals, and we got to ride on a horse and wagon and had a good time out there. And Bob got me a baseball that the Reds played with the other day, and got Nuxall, Marty Brenneman, and some of them to sign it. Put it in a little case for me. That's really nice. I have to watch my kids there, and especially my son-in-law. They'll be wanting to carry that off on me. Let's see. Well, I should have some more stuff here to tell. And if I don't, why, I'll show you some of the little demos that I was talking about earlier. Let me roll this down a little bit here. Yeah, my daughter's building a house on the back side of the farm about a half a mile back from this place. And this has been a record breaker for rain this year. I'm not sure what the total is now, but it's getting up there close to 40 inches, I guess, or something like that. And they got their footer dug a while back, and then they poured it, but they can't get nothing else. Every time it fills up the hole, and they can't get in there. The block truck got stuck the other day. He got off a driveway and got stuck. He had to dump the blocks out the road. So this is the worst year, man. Can't get our grass mowed or nothing. I got a couple little projects that I need to do outside, but I'm not sure. I believe it's rained something like 46 days out of 58 or something like that. It just, I think we in the monsoon season for sure. Well, I guess this tape here is getting pretty close to the end, and I got a couple little demos here to run out my other 5 minutes here with, I guess. So I guess I'll close this segment and run them demos in there, and then I'll be looking forward to seeing you guys next month on Round Robin.